Hello, I'm Hannah from Ottilies Flowers. We're a fresh cut flower build based on the Blackdown Hills in Somerset. And today I'm going to show you how to create a beautiful Easter wreath. Here we've got everything that you will need to create your lovely Easter wreath. This will all be available as a kit to buy on the Country Living Marketplace. To start off with, we've got a beautiful willow hoop here. We've got string, floral wire, scissors and secateurs. You'll need something to cover your base to give some kind of support, so we're using hay. And then various different types of foliage to provide a lovely base and texture for your wreath. And then we'll be using some dried flowers and some finishing trims. So we've got some eggs and some feathers as well. With regards to the greenery, whether you have foraged it or you've bought it in one of our kits, it's really important to do something that we called conditioning that. It means just popping it in some cool water in a cool place for about 12 hours, allowing the greenery to rehydrate itself, and that way it'll last much longer on the wreath for you. Okay, so now we are going to start creating our wreath. And we're going to be starting off with the string. So we want to secure the string onto our base. We don't want to chop the string off. We're going to keep the string on its little reel to be able to wind the hay onto the base. You don't have to use anything. You can just put the greenery onto your hoop if you would like to do so. I like to use the hay because it actually just adds a little bit more structure to be able to attach your greenery onto it. And we're just going to be placing the hay onto the base and moulding the hay so you've got a nice even amount of hay around. And with your string, you're then just going to be wrapping the string around the base like so, and just pulling it tight each time just so the hay is nicely secured onto the wreath base. And each time you just come to the end, you just grab another handful of hay and again pop it on, making sure that the hay is covering both the front and the back of the wreath. So I kind of aim for roughly about a handful each time. So when you're coming to the end, at this point we just want to get our scissors and leave a good few centimetres of string, just cutting the string off like this. And you'll see your last bit of string that you wound around. If you just tuck your end bit, give it a good pull over and back a few times and just tie it off in a knot. That will just mean that the string and the hay are nicely secured onto the hoop. So our next step would be to get our foliage ready. Take your floral wire and we're going to be attaching this onto the wreath base. So it's really easy to attach if you just wrap it around your base and give it a little twist, and then that means that it's nicely secure onto your wreath base. We don't want to be cutting the wire again as with the string before. We want to keep the wire on its reel so we can then continue just to wrap the bunches onto the wreath. With the greenery side of things, I make up little bunches. I like to mix up the different elements, different colours, different textures. With regards to the length of the bunches, as you can see, I've got some longer pieces, I've got some shorter pieces, and I've got this really long stem here. Where you see my thumb is roughly where we want to put the wire on the hoop. And then we're just going to literally position that onto our wire. So we've popped our bunch onto the wreath, and then we are just going to take your wire and wind it around the wreath about two times, just so that bunch is nice and secure onto the wreath like so. That's my first bunch on there, and then it's just a case of replicating the same. So you might want to use slightly different foliages to add a bit of variation, different colours, different elements. When I'm kind of making the wreaths, I do it a little bit randomly, just so I get a bit of a less uniformed looking wreath. And I kind of make sure that when I'm popping the greenery onto the wreath, that I'm covering what I've just done before. So we've got the wire here, the next bunch here, we want to be popping it on top of that wire. And what's really important is that you're always putting the bunches in the same direction. As you can see with the wreath, you've obviously got the inside, the middle and the outside. And we also want to be mindful that we need to be covering both the inside and the outside of the wreath as well. So for instance, I've got a bit of a gap at the back here. So my next bunch, I'm going to focus on sort of perhaps some longer, fluffier types of foliage to be able to bring in the back like so. And this way you'll start building the wreath and making sure that it's sort of more 3D rather than just a flat 2D with the bunches going on top like that. So I just continue making these little bunches of greenery, varying them as I go, and we'll continue all the way around the wreath until the end. So when we're coming to the end of the wreath, we don't want to have a sort of gap where the last one finished and the first one started. So the trick really for this is to, again, create your little bunches, perhaps using slightly shorter stems than you might have been using throughout the rest of the wreath. We want to be gathering up the first bunch that you put on and ensuring that these later bunches are going in underneath the first bunch that we did. So you're disguising the wire under the first bunch, like so. But you might well be surprised at how many little bunches it will take to actually cover that gap. It is a little bit tricky. You'll have to pull up because you don't want to be getting any of the original greenery in there either. You can have a little play around just to ensure that all the gaps are covered. And so there we go. Okay, so we have finished the greenery side of the wreath. So what we need to do now is actually to cut the wire finally. Again, the similar principle with the string. It's just a case of leaving a few, maybe 10 centimetres, 5 to 10 centimetres of wire. And then with the wire that we've got, we're just going to feed it back through the other wire that we've already positioned onto the wreath. A similar process with the hay. And then the last thing I'll do is with this excess, just cut it off. And with any extra bits, I will just push it into the hay. So then we have got our wreath. And for me, I actually really love the green kind of foliage wreath. So if you didn't want to go any further, this would also be a lovely addition to your door. I start with adding in the dried flowers and grasses and then move on to the other trims afterwards. And the way I add them in is I actually poke them into the wreath. I tend to start with the larger types of the dried flowers. As you can see, they can come on very long stems, but we only really want to be using a shorter length of that. So I tend to kind of do all of one kind of type to begin with, just to get a general structure. I think that's probably enough larkspur for me for the moment. The next one I'll move on to was the statice. This is a beautiful flower. It kind of comes in these little clumps of flowers. And again, they'll come on a long stem, but I'll just snap it off shorter. The shorter the stem, it is the easier to push it in. The other grasses that I've got here, so I've got wheat, which is another beautiful textured grass, and the bunny tails here as well, which I absolutely love. And when you're adding them into the wreath, again, I would drop them down a little bit, but they just sort of dance above the wreath and add a little bit of added texture to it. So the final kind of flourishing addition would be these beautiful pheasant feathers, which again I would just sort of randomly add in. what I have here is I've actually got a bit of a two-tone chiffon here in this beautiful cream and a very light kind of peachy cream as well. The colours that I've chosen here reflect the colours in the wreath, so you get this beautiful kind of tonal element that just finishes off the wreath. So with the two different colours, I'll just pop them together like this, gather them up. So you've got a really lovely kind of looped tail kind of design there. And in order to attach the ribbon onto the loop, I'll get my wire again and just give it a couple of tight little ties. So we've now got the ribbon attached to the wire, and then you just position it onto the wreath where you would like it to go. And then the two wires, the two tails of the wire, I'm just going to disguise in under the greenery. And then you just twist the wire off at the back. So then we've got our lovely, beautiful trailing ribbon coming down off the wreath. So the final feature of this wreath, should you wish to add one, would be this really sweet little bird's nest that we've got here. So if you're buying the kit on Country Living Marketplace, this will come ready-made for you with the wires, so you can just attach it onto the wreath where you would like it. To make it at home, you would just need to get a little bit of hay, make it into a little circle nest, and then it's just a case of gluing the eggs into the centre of the nest and attaching some wire through the centre of it. So to add this onto your wreath, I'm just going to position it sort of perched in the middle, just sort of off centre at the bottom of the wreath. And the similar process with wiring on your ribbon, just wrapping the wire behind the wreath and giving it a little twist off. Just adds a really lovely little Eastery feel to it. And so here we have it, your beautiful finished Easter wreath, ready to adorn your door. Thank you very much for watching my video today on how to create your Easter wreath. If you would like to create one very similar, then I do have a DIY wreath kit that you can purchase in the Country Living Marketplace, which will contain all the elements that you see here today. And so you too could create a beautiful Easter wreath for your door.